Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Anissa and today we're making a very simple smoky tomato burger relish. I love this recipe. I've been using it every time I want to make burgers and it takes really no time at all to make. So we're going to start with a little olive oil in a pan. We're using a fair amount, so this just helps the relish to last longer if you want to make a larger batch. And we're going to add one diced medium onion. Now I've really finely chopped the onions into very small pieces for this relish. You don't want big chunks of onion. And we're going to let that just simmer on a medium-low heat until they're browning, until they've softened and just started to brown. You can add a little sprinkle of salt to the onions just to help them start sweating. After a few minutes, when your onions are becoming translucent and soft, and in my case I like when they pick up a little bit of colour, we're going to add 2 medium-sized cloves of garlic. And we're going to let that fry for around 30 seconds. When your garlic is smelling really fragrant, we're going to add around a good heaped teaspoon of chipotle chili flakes, which are nice and smoky, and a good teaspoon of smoked paprika. If you can't find smoked chili flakes, just add an extra teaspoon of smoked paprika, and you can alter the amount of chili flakes you'd like to use for your own chili relish depending on how spicy you like yours. I like mine with a good kick, and we're going to let this fry for another just a few seconds because we don't want to burn the paprika, otherwise it'll taste a bit bitter. So we're just going to stir that in really quickly, giving that a chance to heat through. And now that I can smell it, I'm going to add around 400 grams of chopped fresh tomatoes. I've chopped it reasonably small. If you don't have fresh tomatoes, a can of tomatoes works just as well, or will be fine. And we're going to mix that all together. When your tomatoes have come to a little simmer and it's starting to bubble, reduce it to a low to medium-low heat, and you're going to let this cook until those tomatoes really soften, all that moisture starts to evaporate, and giving it the occasional stir. As your relish starts to reduce, we're going to add a few more of our ingredients. I'm adding a small splash, around 2 teaspoons worth of white wine vinegar. You can use whichever vinegar you prefer, and a good sprinkle of salt for seasoning, and a tablespoon of sugar. You can add more or less according to your own taste. I like that little bit of sweetness along with that spicy sour flavour. I think it just makes it much more tasty. And give that a good mix. Make sure you give it a taste for seasoning before you turn it off the gas. Make sure all the seasonings are right for how you like your relish. When you can see your tomato has cooked down and it's in really small pieces like so, I'm going to bring the heat of this tomato relish up to quite a high simmer, and we're going to keep stirring it until it dries up much more and starts to look really nice and glossy. Your relish is ready when all that excess water has been cooked off. It's starting to look really silky and glossy, and it should sort of just come together quite nicely. That will be all the sugar that's in there, and when you push it around, it shouldn't just immediately come back together. Now at this point, it will be good to eat for a good week. It's perfect for burgers, and put it aside in a clean jar. And that's all it takes to make this really delicious tomato relish. Add it to a nice clean jar, and this will keep for a good week in your fridge. And it's just good on paninis, burgers, even just with nachos. It's delicious. I hope you try the recipe out. If you do, please, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Thanks for watching.